A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Oh, so somebody heard the old guy scream. He screamed once, just once. A suspicion of foul play had been aroused.
He shrieked.
Why did it take 4 hours for the police to show up after somebody heard the old man screaming? It takes the police 4 hours to whatever. Because the story would be a lot shorter if they show up when they should have.
It took a long time to cut off the body and stuff.
Oh, well, you know, he needed time to cut off the body, so the police waited to give him time to cut up the body and bury it underneath the floorboards. Yeah. Isn't that very nice of them? Information had been lodged at the police office, and they, the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled. For what had I to fear? Why didn't he just freaking leave the house where he killed the old guy and go back home?
Well, in the movie, he was like a caretaker.
Oh,
of the guy.
So I don't know. They live in the same. I mean, they live in the same apartment.
He takes care of old people, elderly.
Okay.
Nice.
I smiled. For what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. Bade, welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took the visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. I showed them his treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought chairs into the room and desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. That's fancy language for saying he put his chair down right above the dead body.
Because he's audacious.
Yeah, that's...
It means he's daring, bold, and adventurous.
It comes from the Latin word aude. It comes from the Latin audeo, meaning to dare. Not to be confused with audio, meaning to hear, from which we get audio animatronics.
The officers were satisfied.
That's your fun Latin fact for the day?
And your vocab word. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I was singularly at ease. They sat, and while I answered them cheerily, they chatted of familiar things. But ere long, I felt myself.
Means before long.
I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached.
Oh no.
And I
fancied
a ringing in my ears.
Ring.
But still they sat and still chatted. The ringing became more distinct. It continued and became more distinct. I talked more freely to get rid of the feeling, but it continued and gained definitiveness. Until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears.
That sucks. Okay, no doubt I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently, and with a heightened voice, yet the sound increased. And what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound. Much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. Wait a minute. Haven't he talked about covering a watch in cotton before?
Yeah, wasn't that the old man's heart?
What if the old man isn't dead? Oh. But he cut the guy's arms and legs and head off. The guy should be dead.
Yeah.
Wait, what if it's not the old man's heart? What if it's his own heart? Because he's nervous.
It's the guilt.
No, it's because he's nervous. He's not guilty. He wanted to kill the old man. Oh.
The questions I had to answer on these must have been wrong then.
No.
I said it was the old man's heart and he was feeling guilty.
Well, it was his own heart that he heard. That's what my 7th grade teacher told me.
Your 7th grade teacher is not as cool as my 8th grade teacher.
You know what? I am going to kill you! Cut off your head and hide it underneath the floorboard.
Okay.
Because you did not give me a pound when I gave the Latin word of the day.
I already had to give you a pound earlier.
Okay, whatever. We're near the end of the story. This is the second to last paragraph. Okay, where am I?
It increased.
Yeah, it was as much as sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton.
Oh, yeah.
I gasped for breath, and yet the officers heard it not. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise steadily increased. I aroused and argued about trifles in a high key with violent gesticulations. Okay, let me try this. Let me try reading this in a high key with violent gesticulations. But the noise steadily increased. Why would they not begin? I paced to the floor. No?
I don't think anyone can really hear you.
But the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observations of the men. But the noise steadily increased. Oh God! What could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, son of a biscuit! Because this is a Jew-rated film, so we can't say any words like damn or hell. Or shit-faced asshole. Oh wait, we can't say that, can't we?
You just did.
Whoa! We're never gonna finish this story, are we?
Where are we?
Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the boards. But the noise arose over all and continually increased. It grew louder, louder, louder! And still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Okay, let's try this again. Oh, hey, how's it going, dude?
Hey, he's pacing back and forth.
Dude, isn't this guy kind of weird? I mean, he's like high-pitched tone.
Like, maybe he's got something wrong up there.
Was it possible they heard not? Almighty God! No, they heard! They suspected, they knew! They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. But anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical... Hypocritical?
Hypocritical.
It's hypocritical.
Smiles no longer.
It comes from the Greek. Can I get the Greek word of the day?
No.
Damn it!
Smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now, again, hark! Louder, louder, louder!
Louder!
Villains! I shrieked. Dissemble no more. I admit the dead.
The deed! Oh! You had that moment going and then you screwed it up by saying the word wrong.
I admit the deed.
No, you gotta...
Tear up the flames. Here!
It is the beating of his hideous hearts. The end. Bye.
We're gonna have to do some serious editing.
Good morning. I have a story to tell. It is a tale of great tragedy, of fear, of madness, of the suffering and seemingly endless torture that one poor helpless man was meant to... Security. Him, right over there. Yes, yes. Anyway, no. Seemingly endless torture that one poor helpless man was made to endure.